So today I want to talk to you about the corruption in trying to deconstruct and derail and pull apart our baseline template. This whole planet that we're living on is running off of a false template. It's running off of a false set of mathematics. People look at the Fibonacci spiral, they look at the Fibonacci code. Our banking system runs off the Fibonacci code. Our human bodies run off the Fibonacci code. Nature runs off the Fibonacci code. It's false. This is reality, man. We are brothers and sisters, man. Family on this beautiful green and blue ball, hovering in space somewhere. So today I want to talk to you about our baseline template and also the corruption in trying to deconstruct and derail and pull apart our baseline template. We're here in these bodies right now, and these bodies aren't really functioning like they should function. We're supposed to be a lot bigger. Our pineal glands are supposed to be 4 or 5 times larger. We're supposed to have 6 digits on each hand, 6 digits on each foot. We're supposed to be these kind of angelic humanoid beings that are much taller. We're supposed to be huge. We're supposed to be able to travel in our Merkabas field, communicate telepathically, bilocate, phase out of one reality field, phase into another. These are all natural abilities for someone with a fully activated blueprint. One of the things that is really mission critical to activating our blueprint is switching on that original tree of life grid, which is the cathar grid, the 12-strand template, which once spinning creates the 13th. It's always about the number 13. But this tree of life grid, okay, we've got one internally in our physical structure. We've got one in our external template too. The cathar grid, when it spins at a 45-degree rotation, it comes out from the source point, and it's what creates the universe. Now, some people will take what I'm about to say next and think I'm absolutely nuts, but I'm telling you 100 gazillion%. And you don't have to believe a single word that comes out of my mouth. And I don't give a shit whether you do or you don't. But this is reality, man. This whole planet that we're living on is running off of a false template. It's running off of a false set of mathematics. People look at the Fibonacci spiral, they look at the Fibonacci code. Our banking system runs off the Fibonacci code. Our human bodies run off the Fibonacci code. Nature runs off the Fibonacci code. It's false. This whole planetary environment is running off a false template. It was designed that way, or it was recreated that way, because it didn't used to be running off this template. It used to be fully activated, a fully Christed planet millions of years ago, before Earth fell in its own frequency. We ended up here from other planets falling in our frequency, and our gene code has been played around with. I was walking through Amsterdam airport. Okay, I go through Amsterdam airport all the time. I'm always flying, and a lot of the times I go to Amsterdam and go off somewhere else, because Amsterdam's a kind of a central hub for all sorts of flights all over the world. About a year or so ago, they put this machine into Amsterdam airport. People can go and lie in it. It's supposed to be some kind of relaxation machine. But when you lie down and you look back up, they've got a false tree of life grid with 10 spheres on it, constructed differently. It's the false template. It's the Metatronic template, okay, that a lot of beings try and push us into. They try and mess up our Merkabas field. They're getting lots of people to get other people to spin their Merkabas fields the wrong way. Our Merkabas field is our light body, 2 tetrahedrons. When it doesn't spin efficiently, it has an effect on your physical architecture. When you lie down in one of these machines and you look up and you're staring at this electric blue, false tree of life grid, you're getting imprinted with that code in your consciousness. It's having an effect on your template through your pineal gland, through your eyes. It's going into your cells, into your DNA. And it's stopping you ever going above a fully activated 10-strand. Or not fully activated, but an activated 10-strand blueprint. It's not letting you get those other strands in. And within each of those other strands, there's multiple other strands. So not just hindering 2 strands, which is massive, it's multiple strands. And that's a big portion of our capability, okay, of our functionality, is consciousness in these physical avatars, which are amazing. We're only scratching the surface of its potential. You go to churches and you look at the cross, and you got one central vertical channel which is long, and a horizontal channel which is up near the top and also horizontal. Okay, the real cross is supposed to have an even vertical and horizontal, which is the rod and the staff, which flows through the tetrahedrons on our Merkaba field. When they spin, it creates quantum energy in the body. This also connects into our tree of life grid, our cathar grid, our 13 transmission centers, the 12 points on our multi-dimensional Merkaba field, plus the sphere, which is the number 13, plugs into the Stargate systems, planetary, galactic, universally. It plugs in, everything is connected. It plugs into our dodecahedral heart when we move from the third to the fifth dimension, through the fourth dimensional mental space bridge. Everything is locked and loaded and connected in the most incredible way. Now, if you go to Jesus's house where he lived when he went to Egypt, okay, he stayed in Coptic Cairo for a little while before he went to the mystery schools. I was actually in a monastery in Ethiopia a couple of months ago when we went and did our grid work mission. We went to 15 different locations, buried crystals to create the new 7th dimensional architecture to hold the new divine feminine energy coming to the planet. But when I was in Ethiopia, I rock climbed up a mountain, and on the top of the mountain was a monastery. In this monastery was a book, a massive book. Again, I got pictures of it. The guy said no one has ever been allowed to pick this book up, but they let me hold it. They let me flick through the pages. And there was a picture in this book, and it was a picture of Jesus going to the mystery schools when he was leaving with his mother and John the Baptist. And I said, how old is this book? And they said it's at least 6,000 years old, probably much older. That debunks our history straight away. A lot of people say that Earth is 6,000 years old. It's a load of bullshit. That monastery's more than 6,000 years old. That book's more than 6,000 years old. And it probably took them a little while to build that monastery at the top of a hill. Another interesting story. I said to them, how the fuck did they build this monastery on top of the hill? They said, oh, the priest that first found this place, he got coiled in a big snake, and the snake took him to the top of the mountain. And when you go to the outside of this monastery, there's a big snake wrapped around the priest, and the priest is kind of inside the snake, being lifted up to the top of the mountain. And immediately I knew his Kundalini had been activated, or he had activated Kundalini. He was obviously a high frequency being. His full template was probably activated. He'd done a lot of inner work. He was able to levitate up the side of the mountain. And probably a lot of other beings came along that were able to levitate, and they just levitated all of the building material up there. There's no steps up there. No one can get up and down unless you rock climb. Got this bit of rope that comes out the side of the mountain. It's nuts. Anyway, coming back to Jesus's house in Cairo. When you go in there, you see the crosses. They've got these kind of cabinets over on the right hand side, and if you look, you've got all of these kind of real true crosses in a circle around, and if you count them up, there's 13 of them, and they've got the horizontal and the vertical completely in the middle and the same length, because that's the real cross. This cross that we see in churches is the false cross. Again, it's changing our DNA code. The symbols and the sigils and the codes are everywhere. The codes are subliminally in the television. That's why it's a television program, because it tells you the vision and it programs you. That's why you should smash the shit out of your TV and chuck it away, burn it, blow it up. Don't chuck it in the skip so some poor other soul can find it and hang it on their wall. No, smash it up good and proper with a hammer. Okay, it's very important. Smash your TV, man. Everything is code. Everything is mathematics. If we don't get our Merkaba field to function properly with the top tetrahedron spinning clockwise, the bottom one anti-clockwise, you're never gonna be able to hold the frequency to just have a healthy body. Just to have a healthy body, you've got to have your Merkaba field functioning. And we've got multiple other Merkaba fields through our transmission centers. They're in our cellular structure. If you get my book, Activate Your Superhuman Potential, I take you through a very specific breathing routine in there, which brings on your transmission centers, your Merkaba field. It activates your pineal gland, your Kundalini. It starts to reverse the aging process by switching your internal geometry from a bi-wave to a tri-wave model. Like, everything in our internal system is corrupted, and it's all through this Fibonacci sequence, which doesn't connect you back to the 0 point. It's a disconnected energy just floating around in space. It's got no home. When you connect to the crystalline mathematics, you're connected to the 0 point. It doesn't matter how far you go through the mathematical sequence, you plug back into source. You know, the Fibonacci, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So 3 has to eat 2 and 1 to create itself. 8 has to eat 5 and 3. As you go up the chain, they just keep eating the numbers before them. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Most people in life, they want to crush someone to get up the tree instead of unifying and coming together. The amount of people I reach out to in the spiritual world and say, do you want to collaborate? People are like, nah. People don't want to collaborate. People want to keep their shit to themselves. People are scared. When you know the truth and you come into someone else's arena, you're going to shine light on the stuff that they're sharing, on their knowledge, on their skills, on their tools. People don't like that. But really what we should be doing is all working together to unearth all of the truth. So there is only the truth being told. So everyone out there teaching Merkaba mechanics is teaching the correct Merkaba mechanics. So everyone out there in the field is recoding the templated DNA strand blueprint to 12, 13 strands. The full templated cathar grid and not this false 10-strand Metatronic mechanics. Now this brings me to another point. Because a lot of people play around with the archangels, and that's okay, because there are some beautiful angels. Okay, there really are. There's something, the angelic realm is incredible when you're dealing with the angelic realm. It's a much higher dimensional field. Not all of these angels have got wings and stuff. Most of them are just light. There are angels with wings. But these higher frequency angelics, they don't have wings. They're just frequency. But there are multiple beings that have been duplicated. So you could have Archangel Metatron and the dark forces have duplicated him. Archangel Michael, they've duplicated him. Archangel Raphael, they've duplicated him. So what you've got is false deities in the space masquerading as real deities. And they're just hijacking people's systems. All of these ascended masters. We used to work with the ascended masters a lot, and I still do personally on some level. Not a lot, but a little bit here and there. But we used to bring them into a lot of meditations. I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it for 3 years, 4 years. Why? Because there are so many ascended masters showing up in people's reality fields that aren't really ascended masters. So what's happening is people are getting corrupted. Their consciousness is getting twisted, and they're getting downloaded with false codes. You see it left, right, and center. Other beings come into my space. They duplicate me. I show up in other people's spaces sometimes and people believe that it's me, people in our tribe. And what they'll do is they'll download some shitty code into them. And what they'll do is they'll try and separate them from the tribe. I've seen it so much. It happens. I've seen it with other groups and communities and tribes too. I speak to other people that have different businesses, organizations, spiritual groups around the planet. And they tell me the same stories. You know, the dark force comes in, twisting people's consciousness, downloading frequency, and then turning that person against the person that is trying to help them. It happens a lot. But this is the game, beautiful soul. This is the game. And it's a fun game to play. And if it was all plain sailing and all straightforward, it'd be boring as fuck. You've got to have a little bit of magic. You've got to have a little bit of deception. You've got to have a little bit of darkness, a little bit of light. You got to have all the ingredients to make up the soup. Otherwise the soup's not going to taste very nice. If you had a soup with no salt and pepper, no herbs, it's going to be pretty bland. So you need that salt, you need that pepper, you need those herbs. But if you have too many of those herbs and too much of that salt, the soup's going to taste shit. So it's all about balance. But one thing that we cannot subside on, one thing that we cannot compromise on when it comes to balance, is the fact that the Fibonacci sequence and the 10-stranded, templated cathar grid, the false tree of life, you have to put it to the side. You can't even negotiate with that at all. You've got to be working with the mathematics that are going to upgrade you, elevate you, and expand you. And if you want to play around with the other architecture, then don't expect to go through this ascension process and get out of this matrix, because your mathematical template will never move through the stargates. Your mathematical template will get stuck. What we have to do as a human species is remember how to bring our light out of our body, how to bring our soul out of our body and move through these different dimensional spaces. To go out and do it now whilst we're in physical form. And then what happens is we start to bring energy and code back into our bodies from the higher dimensional fields. And it starts to recode us from the inside out. And then our physical body becomes lighter in its vibration. And then what's going to happen is we're going to be able to take our physical bodies through these gateways. We're going to be able to take our physical bodies into spaces that we can only go now outside of our physical body. Right now, if you bring your consciousness, well, not your consciousness, because anyone can really bring their consciousness and go places, but to take your light and your soul and your whole light body architecture out from the physical vessel and to go traveling, you can be anywhere very quickly. When you do this consciously, you can start to understand the game beyond the physical form. But what happens is people don't experience this in this physical reality, because most people are lost in the external world. Down in the pub, going to the cinema, watching shitty movies, pouring poison into their body, alcohol, drugs, shitty foods, fast foods, whatever it is. addicted to pornography, so they never get to go on that inward journey. But when you go on that beautiful inward journey, which enables you to have the courage and the confidence to take your light and your soul out of your body and go traveling, you realize that out there in the field, it's a magical place, and you can start to see the corruption as you walk around, because there are other beings that will try and stop you going through different gateways. There are other beings that will stop you going to other universes, other multiverses. They guard the gateways. They'll put fear into you and try and get you to turn the other way and go back, because they want to keep you locked in this dimensional field. Because when you're locked in this dimensional field, you're food to these negative beings. So taking this inward journey is of the utmost importance. It's mission critical. It's the journey of the heart, the journey of the brave. The journey of the weak are the ones that get lost in this external reality, working the 9 to 5, never waking up, getting so many signs but never cottoning onto them, because they're lost, entrenched in the madness, in the chaos. And let me tell you this journey inwards isn't easy, but it's a much better journey to take than the external one. Because the external one's going to keep you trapped in this matrix for eternity. When you leave your body, you will not escape. You've got to learn to escape whilst you're in this physical body. It's the only fucking way, man. It's the only way. Once you then pass back to spirit, you're going to have this gnosis. You're going to understand exactly what's taking place beyond the physical form. It's not going to be a shock when you leave your body, and you're not going to get railroaded by some other energies to come back into this reincarnation cycle. You're going to get to go through your cleansing process, your kind of defragmentation process. You're going to get to go through the cleansing chambers. You're going to get to have a full debrief of this human experience and remember all of your other incarnations. Get all that full recall back, and then choose where you want to go next. Maybe you'll come back to planet Earth. This is my last time here, man. I'm not coming back here again, but I'm going to be here for a long time. 250 years. I'm 46 now, I've got 204 years to go. Sounds a little bit nuts, I know, but I wrote about that in my first book, Into the Light, back in 2012. I know with the technology advancing and what we're remembering as multi-dimensional galactic beings, that we're going to be here for a very long time if we want to. It's a choice, beautiful soul. It's a choice. It's a choice to get lost, it's a choice to remember, it's a choice to be free, it's a choice to be enslaved. But you only get to make those real choices once you know the game is taking place. The other thing to mention is, we have these multi-dimensional chakras, or multi-dimensional transmission centers is what we call them in Star Magic. I don't like that word chakra, okay? Because those 7 chakras that we have in our body, apart from the heart, they're no good. People are still teaching people all about their energy centers. The energy centers do this and that. Well, you find out what happens when you dissolve those energy centers and you bring online your transmission centers. You watch how high your frequency goes. We teach this and train this in our level 2 training. You got to take the seals out of your upper transmission centers so that electrical energy can flow down. Otherwise, you're never going to activate your holy grail frequency. That electrical mergence of the electrical masculine and the magnetic feminine. If we don't do that as individuals, we're not even in the game. If you want to know how to do that, go and do one of our meditations in our library over at starmagichealing.org. You're amazing, beautiful soul. Truly you are. We're sisters and brothers. We're a family. Okay, go out into the world and love your sisters and brothers fiercely and ferociously. Hug them tightly and never, ever, ever be the first to let go. It's the golden rule of hugging. You know that. It's a magical medicine. Remember to check out our website, starmagichealing.org. We got all the best ascension tools that you could possibly require to navigate this crazy human journey, to raise your vibration, to expand your consciousness, to remember the truth, to activate your superhuman potential. We got meditations, light language transmissions, cosmic yoga videos, nutrition, breathwork, exercise, mystery school teachings. We meet every Monday, Wednesday, and second Sunday online for DNA activations, high frequency transmissions, meditations, frequency spas. We do fearless focus, we set challenges. We work as a community. We do the work to elevate and keep progressing. You get all of that free right now for 7 days. Go and check it out at starmagichealing.org and get access to all of our private groups so you can connect with beautiful souls, spiritual gangsters just like you on this same ascension mission. Yeah, baby. I'll see you very, very soon. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out, beautiful soul. Remember to be the joker, the jester, the fool. Be a little bit crazy. It's a cosmic joke, after all.